Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Darren, and in today's video I want to take a stab at helping introduce people to the Outlaw Rogue spec. I believe that, and this is my firm belief, a lot of people throw away Outlaw, some to an extent because it's RNG, some to an extent because it is not quite subtlety or quite assassination, but I believe there's definitely a good chunk of people who believe that Outlaw is terrible because their experience with Outlaw has been terrible. In most cases, people will throw away the spec if it's, let's say, they keep getting a bad roll, or they don't understand how to utilize the cooldown reduction mechanic, or they don't really understand the burst with Outlaw. A lot of people just simply toss it aside. I've had so many people tell me because you can't use Kill and Spree as Outlaw that it's a terrible spec. That because you have to use Alacrity, it makes the spec useless. And in most cases, I play Outlaw, and I do fairly fine with it. I do decent burst, I do know there's some limitations to the spec, but I don't want to deny anybody from playing the specialization that I love. Chances are you might enjoy it too. So I decided to make a one-button macro for Outlaw Rogues. Now this one-button macro is great for an opener, it deals for all your damage burst, and it doesn't really have too much limitation on your RNG. First of all, you need to construct the macro, and I decided to do it as basic as possible. I'm not going to complicate anything for anybody. The only thing I'm going to ask for you is to tricks a friendly target before you burst. That's it. Before you start spamming the macro, that's it. This macro will get you your mark for death, it'll get you your buffs, and for the most part, all the buffs, except for one, will be viable. What this macro is going to do is go through the whole rotation of setting up your buffs, and all buffs should be viable for the most part. It's going to get your Saber slashes in, your run-throughs, it'll get your stun in, and this is generally what I burst with almost no matter what buff I get. There's only one buff combination of one singular buff that is bad. Every other buff is a damage increase or makes the rotation smoother, which means a damage increase either way. So I wanted to bring this up again to give people the opportunity to truly play Outlaw Rogue. You might not be playing it to its full extent, you might not be playing with the whole buff mechanic, you might not be understanding the spec, but at least you have this amazing burst, and all you need to do is make sure you have mark for death, your artifact weapon, adrenaline rush available, and you gotta be in stealth if you want to get this burst up. Now the reason I decided to make this burst for stealth in particular is because rogues in most cases open from stealth and they kind of just want to bang out some damage. Prior to this, as a combat rogue, you couldn't quite do that. You had to go through an extensive rotation to build up your buff in order to get yourself some actual damage going, but with Outlaw Rogue and Legion, you're able to burst literally whenever you want to, which is why I decided to make this build as simple and easy yet effective as possible for anybody who wants to finally perform well with Outlaw Rogue or actually learn it. And all I'll ask for you guys is, if you are having fun, you're enjoying the burst, please do read all your abilities in the spellbook, please do look at the macro and break down which ability is in, I guess, in the rotation as it goes, and try to understand why those abilities go in a rotation. And then from there, if you dwell into the macro further, you can actually start replacing, instead of some of the run-throughs, into between the eyes. If you get good buffs like True Bearing, and you're able to cycle your common points, and as you get to know the macro, you'll hopefully start separating that macro into separate abilities to truly understand the spec, but this will get you started. So this is my one-shot burst macro for an Outlaw Rogue. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.